Emmanuel Amunike has scored for Nigeria. Goal that wins the first ever footballing gold medal for Nigeria. Joshua,
to continue their impressive run so as to place Edo State in the continental map.
Toby Amazon, look at the clock. I cannot believe it. She's done it again. 2 world records in one night. And she makes history by becoming Nigeria's first world champion.
Alex Iwobi decides to go early. Chukwueze shapes the shoot, gets some spaces. Osimhen.
Yes, Chile is a goal for the 2025 Under-20 FIFA World Cup, and for the Flying Eagles, it is Operation Let's Make It a first title for Nigeria. Coach Aliu Zubairu is already talking tough, believing that his guys would be able to start on a flying note when they file out against Norway in their very first game on Monday night. On this note, I say welcome to another pulsating episode of Sportsville. The top guys are in the studio, and we must say so much truly making the rounds in the world of sport, especially from the home front. We're also looking at the fallout from the AGA of the Nigeria Football Federation. They said the statute would not be amended anytime soon. This and more from the nucleus of today's package of the show. We do a breather, and when we return, we're so proper.
Meet Gabriel, the bargain king. He also doesn't play with the best odds on sports. That's Promise, the tactical, and he loves our 300% ACA bonus. And there's me, the big boss. I like to play halftime up, so full-time drama won't spoil my cash out. You can now cash out at halftime even if your team loses at full-time. Bet and get up to 1 million naira on BetKing Sports. Is plenty. That feeling, that's BetKing.
With Glovo, you've got the city at your fingertips. Craving fried chicken or smoky jollof? Order on Glovo. Running low on toiletries? Glovo's got you. Track the rider as your order makes its way to you. Download Glovo. Order anything you want and receive it in minutes.
At Stanbic IBTC, we are here to help you grow with financing that helps you expand expert knowledge across 20 African markets, trade solutions that open doors to 195 countries globally, and an online banking platform that works hard, because with us, there's possible, then there's more. Visit www.stanbicibtcbank.com/business for more. Stanbic IBTC.
Yes, and welcome back. The show is still for Sportsville. Interesting conversation behind the cameras, and we're asking, why are married men not going out with their wedding ring? On this note, we say welcome to Tonu Bani.
Thank you so much, Matthew. I have my wedding ring.
Your fingers are always empty. That's why we needed to put this out there. And Raymond also feels great to have you back.
Yeah, nice to be here. Very soon you see my wedding ring.
Very interesting.
In case you are longing to see it, you see it once again.
I just love the way they are answering one because it's evidence they don't have their wedding rings on.
Well, we hope we'll be able to answer that. And if you think there are reasons why married men are not going out with their wedding ring, you just help us sort that out. The show is Sportsville, and we are here to talk sports. And today on the show, we're looking at the dwindling state of stadia in Nigeria. Remember, the World Cup qualifiers, Uyo remains the sole sport as far as the Super Eagles ground is concerned in the course of the qualifiers. We must also put it out there that in the course of the CAF Champions League as well as the CAF Confederation Cup, the respective teams are also not playing in their home state. It's either they play at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium or now the newly refurbished MQ Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta. Raymond, we will continue to say this, the state of our stadia as we build up to major international tournaments.
All right, it's quite unfortunate. That is how we found ourselves, at least in recent years. We had option of playing in different venues some years ago. Ahmadu Bello Stadium, Enugu Stadium, and lots more. The National Stadium that used to be our slaughter ground. these days we can't even think of going there because they are now like abandoned arenas. Quite unfortunate we have this kind of poor maintenance policy because Super Eagles, I must tell you, are suffering today because there's no proper home ground for them. Take a look at the Three Lions of England. We know Wembley is their ground. Take a look at Brazil. They can't play any game, outside their original home grounds. Right. But Nigerian team is like, just anywhere, anytime, any day. But now emphasis is on Uyo because that's the only stadium that's approved by FIFA, by the Confederation of African Football. So why is it so? So that's why I easily say that it's like we're no more a sporting country. We don't seem to like football. We don't seem to like sports any longer because how do we allow facilities to decay this way? You saw how a former civil minister even ensured that National Stadium was scattered, so to say. Everybody was chased away. The facilities were deliberately, abandoned and even taken away as scraps. But yet, this is a nation that had won many, many important sporting events. But suddenly, we are at the venues. So that's what we're suffering for. Lack of maintenance policy and, do I say wickedness and patriotic administrators. All these made things to be so difficult for our sports. Not just the Eagles, we are at the stadias. And I think perhaps only the federal government, we're talking about 2030 Commonwealth Games. Perhaps that is where we now know the importance of having a proper stadium again. But we're really suffering, I tell you, Matthew.
Yes, Mr. Raymond truly fired up. Tony, Raymond mentioned the National Stadium Surulere. The memories of that edifice cannot be overemphasized. What we were able to achieve, I remember my secondary school days going there to watch the Super Eagles. Now it is in a comatose state that one cannot really begin to explain how we allowed it to get to this state.
Yeah, Matthew, it's pitiable. It's sad, and also it's equally annoying. Remember at the time while growing up, we thought that the National Stadium, any match that is not played at the National Stadium, Nigeria will not in any way win. When I talk of the National Stadium, I mean the Sports City. That's the way we call it, the Sports City at the National Stadium, Surulere in Lagos. But now we have another National Stadium at the Federal Capital Territory. And that one, of course, no one goes to that place again. It's been abandoned, and of course, it's been decayed, despite the fact that it came, much earlier after the National Stadium in Surulere. That also explains, Matthew, how we are in the country. When we begin to look at facilities, most of the times, we pay so much attention because it's sports. Tell me in Nigeria what we have that is functioning. It defines us. It shows who we are as a people. We do not have that maintenance culture, and it is really very sad. I had when Raymond was talking about 2030. The facilities we have, we do not maintain them, and of course we are trying, to burden ourselves with loads that we can't carry. We're talking about 2030.
Commonwealth Games.
Commonwealth Games and all those things. Do we have it? Do we have the security? Do we have what it takes?
The infrastructure
for the influx of people to come. It's sad that most times we do not care for what we have. We allow the little ones that we have to decay. And of course, we talk about building new ones. If you can't maintain what you have, Matthew, I don't think there is any need for people to talk about bringing up new ones. Because if you do, that same new one will equally go back to the state of the old ones.
Yes, Joy, this affected the Super Eagles in the course of the World Cup qualifiers. And now our respective clubs are suffering the same fate, both in the CAF Champions League and in the CAF Confederations Cup. They either play in Uyo or they play in Abeokuta. This is where we are when it comes to the state of our sports facilities.
Matthew, before I touch on that topic, I would like to also draw attention to something really disturbing that is happening in Lagos State. You ply a road today, you go through that same route tomorrow, there's a big gutter, pothole, like you can't really explain. If you move at night, there's every tendency that you are going to get into a fatal accident. And this is the level of wickedness that we have gotten ourselves into. Because how do you explain that, as in putting our lives in danger.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing that has, transcended from one stadium to another poor, maintenance culture that we have really experienced over the years. So I don't think this is a new, topic. It has only degenerated to a level where at this point we are only crying out loud for help. Like, we need help. We need people who have the mind to see people succeed, to see things happen, really begin to take charge. Because there's no way we are going to grow our sport when we don't have facilities. There's no way, there's no magic. So when you see other countries, when you see them, moving from one success story to another, it's not magic. It's just how they have seen the importance of having
meticulous planning.
Exactly. So for me, I just feel we need to have the right people. Maybe at some point I might have to step in.
That would be a great one. Can you? Is it high time we begin to consider concession? Concession some of this stadium, that of Abuja, give it to a company who can bring it back alive, manage it. Lagos, outright concessioning, and I think this should also be the trajectory, because government at this time have so much on their hands, and I don't know if the National Sports Commission is also looking in this direction.
It won't be bad to try that, because if what we have been doing all along has failed us, maybe we need to try something new. So if we need to put that out there and get some people who are interested in bringing the facilities back to life, and of course they will definitely make money for themselves as well, because other neighboring countries might even come start using our facility if we bring them up to standard, and that brings in inflow, cash flow, brings in revenue for the country. So I think they need to look at that aspect of also bringing in people to take up the facilities, bring them back up to life, and let's start making money from it.
Yes, interesting one from the guys. The state of our sports infrastructure at this time. We want to develop sports, and you begin to ask yourself, the next generation of Toby Amusan, Victor Osimhen, where will they be able to harness their talents? Where would they be able to show forth to the rest of the world that they really can make things happen? It's time we begin to stick our priorities right and focus on what truly matters at every point in time. At the other side, we'll be looking at continental football. Remember, Nigerian teams are on the march again as far as the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederation Cup is concerned.
Welcome to Bet King Games. Plenty is the watch word.
Plenty for where? Amy Game Master.
You will love it. Let me show you. Keep coming.
You
never see anything. Plenty.
Is plenty. Download the BetKing app today and find your play. That feeling, that's BetKing.
At Stanbic IBTC, we are here to help you grow with financing that helps you expand, expert knowledge across 20 African markets, trade solutions that open doors to 195 countries globally, and an online banking platform that works hard, because with us, there's possible, then there's more. Visit www.stanbicibtcbank.com/business for more. Stanbic IBTC.
When it's bright and early, get your breakfast right. You need all the nutrients that will hold you tight. Stay in power, you find it all in Peak. Every move you make, Peak's got you all the way. And the Peak goes on.
Power on every morning with our Peak breakfast to make the most of every day. Peak. Reach for your peak.
Yes, it is match day 2 in the CAF Champions League as well as the CAF Confederation Cup, and Nigerian teams are on the march again. And today to be the turn of Rivers United, Abia Warriors as well as Kwara United in the CAF Champions League and the Confederation Cup. Raymond.
Yeah, my joy is that all three coaches are sounding very confident. Even Abia Warriors that is playing today in Bamako, despite the fact that that first leg score was not very encouraging. 1-1.
Was a minus.
Yeah, quite a big one. Very big disappointment on part of Abia Warriors. Some will say they played at Uyo. We're just talking about facilities now. But of course, it's a home ground. Nobody stopped at the Abia State government from making sure that they had a standard stadium before now. So now they are playing in Bamako. I hope they will come up with something interesting against a very, very experienced Joliba Athletic Club. But for the Kwara United, I'm actually looking forward to their fixture this afternoon at the MK Abiola Sports ground in Abeokuta. Great performance they had in Accra last Sunday.
3 goals.
3-4.
I never saw that coming. Yeah.
And today, Sunny, by last night, was still certain that his boys would overcome the experienced Kotoko. Kotoko is a very old name as far as African football
a traditional
is
team
concerned. But let's say these Afonja Warriors will shock out the Porcupine Warriors from Ghana.
Rivers United?
Yeah, great fixture in Port Harcourt at Dokia Messmaker Stadium. Right there in the Uyo. Yeah, not Port Harcourt again.
Disappointing they won't be playing at home.
Yeah,
it seems
the
like
same facilities we're talking about.
Yes.
There's always going to be difference between playing in Port Harcourt and playing at Uyo. But Finidi George has always said Uyo is home for them.
Your man.
Yeah, but it's everybody's man. Finidi George. Yeah. So definitely he said they're expecting many of their fans to leave Port Harcourt and be in Uyo for this game. And I think they can get past League, that is the Congo, the Eagles of Congo. Let's bring these Eagles down, and we hope Nigerian teams will keep marching on as far as continental fixtures are concerned this weekend.
Yes, interesting one from Raymond. Incisive analysis on the Nigerian teams in the continent this weekend. We're saying all the best to the respective clubs. Let's hope that this time around we'll see a Nigerian team in the semi-finals, in the quarterfinals, and who tells you we really can win a title this time around in the continent. On the other side, we'll be talking the Flying Eagles. Remember, the guys are set in Chile, and they said it is a first title for Nigeria. They are truly gunning for in the Under-20 FIFA World Cup.
When it's bright and early, get your breakfast right. Then you need all the nutrients that will hold you tight. Then stay in power, you find it all in Peak. Then every move you make, Peak's got you all the way. And the Peak goes on.
Power on every morning with our Peak breakfast to make the most of every day. Peak. Reach for your peak.
Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop? And
Sonia tomato mix in a stand-up pouch. Get one free sachet when you buy 5 tomato mix or pepper and onion sachets.
Yes, Nigeria boasts of a staggering record at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup, but we haven't been able to replicate at the Under-20 level. And this time around, the Under-20 team are in Chile for another quest to ensure that Nigeria nicked a first title at the Under-20 FIFA World Cup in Chile. Tony.
Yeah, Matthew, anytime we talk about Chile, it brings memories. 1987. When Nigeria had what almost everybody considered, a very loaded team. But then, despite how loaded they were, they felt like a pack of cats. But all the same, I think that this is a competition that Nigeria is making a lot of records, negatively. Because if you have made 14 appearances in the Under-20 World Cup without getting a trophy, I think that's not a record for me. The record that we want is a record of Nigeria breaking that jinx and, of course, winning the Under-20 World Cup for the first time. They've gotten so close. They have been 2 times finalists. And, of course, even getting to the quarterfinals, most recently. But, Matthew, I think that where there is a will, there is a way. And, indeed, I have seen, that this team, they have gotten a lot of players. And, of course, something tells me that we have something that will definitely make Nigerians smile. In this team, there are about 3 Daniels in that team. If you look at it, and of course, you know that once there is a Daniel, then the lion must always fall. With him, Matthew, I think the team is ready. And the coach, Zubeiru, has always been very emphasizing on that Nigeria, for the first time, is going to break the ice.
Remember, no one gave Justin Madugu a chance with the Super Falcons, and he won the AFCON title. Let's hope that Zubeiru would be able to follow suit. And now back to the Super Falcons coach. There have been talks. Why the delay on the part of the NFF to making the substantive manager of the Falcons going forward? Remember, several qualifiers around the corner. Joy.
Matthew, we are king and queens of fire brigade approach.
Yeah.
We always like to leave things till the last minute before we start running like headless chicken, to solve the problem. So for me, I feel really bad that we are having this conversation at this point in time after the successful, outing of the Super Falcons, the last WAFCON in Morocco. Coming back, you would think the first thing that the NFF would put on their table to stabilize that team was to, solidify the stand and of the coach, Justin Madugu. And it's so painful and sad that till now there's not been talk about him. The whole attention just moved as soon as the girls came back, just moved to the Super Eagles, World Cup qualifiers. And now we are in a tight corner where we are beginning to see that, okay, the next WAFCON is coming on and qualifiers will begin. No any clear path for this coach who did outstandingly well during that tournament. He went unbeaten to clinch that title that he was never given a chance from the onset. That alone is something that should not be looked away. It should be rewarded with a contract, a solid contract, 2 years contract for him. And it's so sad because this is a coach that should transit not only from the Super Falcons, but also prospect for Super Eagles if you give him a chance.
He has shown so much quality in terms of technicality. So
I feel so sad that this conversation is not really out there. People are not really clamoring for this coach to get a permanent...
Pooja, is it all about being a Nigerian manager because he's a Nigerian? Why do we treat our own like this? Remember, this same manager was voted as the fourth best coach.
Best coach in the world.
Yes,
in the world. Number one, he was not even present. That is how much value we did not place on what he achieved. Because if for nothing, the federation should even
I saw other coaches seated and I was looking out for him.
The federation should make sure he was well sponsored to attend that award, but he was not there. So coming back to really him getting a contract, I think he should be given a contract. He should be given a contract.
Interesting. I'm talking about the NFF. They had their AGA in Ibadan precisely yesterday, and Sportsville was there. Let's hear some of the guys and what they have to say as far as the projection is going forward.
It's always expected that anytime the Nigerian Football Federation is getting together to have the annual general congresses, people expect that there should be rancor. But you see, as Nigerians, we must start thinking ahead. Fights don't solve problems. And for us, that as a Congress, the aim is to see how we can grow the game of football in Nigeria. There was a misconception that this annual general meeting was meant for reviewing and adopting a new status. That was not what we're here for. Yes, there's a team in place already. The status is being reviewed in line with officials of FIFA. You could see we had 3 representatives of FIFA here and 1 representative of CAF. And we've sat down with them. We've had extensive discussions. We looked at areas that need to be reviewed. And I believe that in due course, the NFF management will present the proposed status to the general public for their viewing, and hopefully we'll have an extraordinary congress later in the year where we will adopt the new status.
This AGA has been a wonderful one. We want to thank members of Congress for being on the same page with the Executive Committee of Nigerian Football Federation and for the very smooth way it went. We need unity, we need cooperation, we need understanding for the league to grow. Getting sponsors into the league is a direct fallout of the hard work we are putting into it in the last 2 years since we came on board. When we came on board, we had a clear mandate from Alhaji Ibrahim Gusso, the president of NFF, to make the league better. We have succeeded in doing that, and now corporate bodies are beginning to identify with us. Just last week, we unveiled a partnership with BetPower. They are in 2 other few jurisdictions in Africa. They were impressed with what we are doing in NNL, and we started discussion with them, and the discussions was very fruitful. At the end of the day, we have unveiled them as our partners, and the biggest beneficiary of that partnership are the players and the coaches, who will be paid what they call a locker room bonus. Immediately after a game, starting from November 8th during our season opener in Makurdi. Each player will be getting bonus of 56,400 naira after every game.
First of all, I must thank the federal government of Nigeria under the able leadership of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who has been very supportive to football through the National Sports Commission now. Also to the governor of Oyo State, because who make this environment to be very conducive for us to have this very important annual General Assembly for 2025. Sometimes people try to not look at things the way they are. They try to give it a different meaning. We have started the process of amending our status. It's a process. It's not something that you just come and do it overnight. The process has started. We have taken upon us that we surely amend this status because it's part of the things that Nigerians are complaining. Since 2010, this status has not been amended, and we have just started the process. We had a little seminar with people about 2 days ago, yesterday morning, which we look at key areas that we can amend, and then we look at the areas of governance that people will not allow anybody to touch those areas, because the key thing is now we must be very careful about ethics and governance in the administration of football, and people has a lot of interest in that. So we have a very good conversation, and the process is on now. And by the grace of God, in the next couple of months, we are going to call for an extraordinary Congress where we will look at that document holistically and see how we can come up with some amendments.
Like I just said now, the fact that all our efforts were having support, first is motivating for us to keep putting the effort, and also were encouraged. Well, yesterday, the first wide-body head at Ibadan Airport. It's a big and momentous event for us. If you link it with the infrastructure that we've put in place, you know that yes, really.
Breaking news. The home is under attack by stains, disease-causing germs, and so much more. An all-out war. But not for long, cause Hypo is here.
Dirty floors and surfaces.
Not on our watch.
Protect every day with Hypo. Dirty and stains no fit do us shakara. We got the remedy, original palasa. Hypo, go Hypo. Protect your home every day with Hypo. Cleaning every surface, sanitizing home. Shine every corner, enter every corner. Your sitting room, kitchen, even the toilets. For cleaning, Hypo now. No lose guard, protect your home with Hypo now.
And just like that, the day is saved. Germs always find a way back.
No greed. Protect every day with Hypo.
Hypo go Hypo.
Yes, in talking sports, you can go on and on and on. I must tell you, the excitement never stops. But this is where we anchor on today's episode of the show. Tony was saying advice.
Yes, Matthew, Nigeria will be 65. And of course, I say a very happy birthday. And of course, in sports, despite all the things that we say, Nigeria have achieved a lot. And I think it is only sports that have taken Nigeria that high in this country.
And Pooja?
Yes, I hope Nigeria gets to win the bid to host the Commonwealth Games come 2030, because that will give our nation a boost, to also, get new infrastructure. So, yeah, I'm wishing us the best in the bid.
And what happened to all the infrastructure we had before? So I want to be thinking of 2030. Please, I'm wishing Kwara United well. I want to be at that stadium and see how they take on the Ghanaian team. Asati Kotoko, Ghana or Nigeria Jollof, which is sweeter. I want to see it today. Yeah, looking forward to a new generation of Nigerian players against Norway tomorrow.
Yes, and on that note, we're saying the conversation continues across all our social media platforms on your screen at this time. We'll keep talking sports 24/7. I remain Matthew Kugbe. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.
Emmanuel Amunike has scored for Nigeria. Goal that wins the first ever footballing gold medal for Nigeria.